Hello friends, this is Akash and welcome to PySpark Learning Hub. Today we are trying to solve a PySpark problem, but not just any problem, but the one that will challenge your thinking and sharpen your skills. And in this video, I will walk you through my approach also, step by step, so that you can learn, practice, and grow. So let us see what we have in today's problem statement. So today's problem statement is product sales analysis tool. In last video also we have seen product sales analysis 1. This is the continuation of the same video. In this particular problem, we have to write a PySpark code that reports the total quantity sold for every product ID. So this is a simple problem. That is the reason I have kept under easy playlist. I've already created the data frame. You can download this particular DBC from my GitHub location and you can solve it. So now let's see step 2, which is nothing but how does the input is looking and expected output. So in terms of input, we do have a sales data frame and a product data frame. In sales data frame, we do have sales ID, product ID, year, quantity, and price. Whereas for product data frame, we do have product ID and product name. And product ID is same or common column for sales data frame and product data frame. So this is what we can see in terms of input data frames. And the expected output is we have to get the product IDs, which is nothing but 100 and 200, and how many total quantity has been sold. So in sales data frame, we do have the quantity, right? Particular this sales ID with this product, that is 100 product ID, 10 quantity has been sold at a price of 5,000. Again, the same product has been sold in 2009. The quantity is 12. So we want to identify the total quantity. That means 10 plus 12 is 22, right? 100 product ID has been sold for 22 quantity, right? That is what it is saying. And same thing goes for 200 product ID also. It has been sold 15 quantity. So that is what it is showing in expected output, isn't it? So if you see from the input to output, we only deal with sales data frame, right? We don't need product data frame in this particular scenario, even though they have given, but we don't require that, isn't it? We want product ID and quantity, how much it has sold. So we can perform a group by on the product ID and we can take a sum of quantity and we can reach to the expected output, isn't it? So in this scenario, in few scenario they might give you some extra information also, which is not at all required. This is the classical example of uh, the same scenario, saying that extra data they give just to confuse you. Okay, so what you have to do is you just focus on sales data frame and try to get the expected output. So I have given you the step 1, step 2. We have understood the question, we have seen how the input is and expected output. We have discussed the approach also. In approach, a simple thing we have to do, what we have to do is group by product ID and take the sum of quantity, right? So I have given you the approach also. So before you start step 3, I want you all to pause this video and try to solve it. If you did not get the solution also, it is fine, but it is important to give a try. Remember, practice is the only way to learn by Spark. So let us try using data frame API. Right. So how do we do it? DF sales DF, right? Sales DF dot show. So what we have to do is firstly we have to do a group by, right? So let me use the group by. Group by what column we have to do? Group by product ID, right? Group by product ID. Whenever we apply some group by, we know that we have to perform some aggregate function, right? So in this scenario, sum is the aggregate function we want because total quantity you have to find out. So let us do a sum of quantity, right? And let me rename it. To rename it, what we do is we use alias function, right? Few of in many videos I've shown how to do the aliasing, right? So aliasing, and we have to give it as a total quantity, right? So I will copy it to save some time, and let us see whether it is giving expected output or not. Let me execute this thing. See, now we have achieved the expected output. In this video, let us explore the UI also. See, it has created two different job. Okay. So Spark UI, exploring Spark UI is also very important. Okay. So let me show you that also in this video. So what will happen is whenever you execute a Spark code, right? That will create that the whole code will divide into jobs and stages and tasks, right? So that you can view with the help of Spark UI. So how do you access? There are multiple way, but one of the simplest way is just here you will get all the Spark job and you will see how much data it has scanned. Okay, there are a lot of information you will get from interview perspective. Also, it is very important to know how many stages has been created for a particular video for a particular code, and how do we calculate the stages is also very important. Okay, so I will try to create some theoretical video also on stages, jobs, task, so on and so forth. So in this video we have achieved the vector output. To achieve this thing, we have used using dataframe.api. Let us try to solve it with the help of spark.sql also. So, as you know that to write a spark.sql code, we need to create views first, right? From this data frame, we need to register it as a view. How do we do that? Yes, that is correct. We use create or replace 10 view. And let me give sales as a name. Let's try to query. How do we query it? Spark.sql, and what we do, something like this we write, right? And dot show, and inside this we can write queries. Let me try to query. Spark spelling is not correct. Spark.sql, yes. Now let us try to write the same thing group by here as well, right? It is very easy, right? Give it a try without seeing this. How do we do that? Group by product ID we do, right? Group by product ID. And what all things we need? Product ID, comma, sum we want, sum of quantity, right? Sum of quantity we want as total quantity, right? So let us see. Now here if you compare the number of jobs also, okay, here also three stages has been created in Spark data frame API. In Spark.sql also it has created same amount of stages. That means if some question is given to you, you can write it in Spark.sql also, and you can write it in data frame API also. When it comes to computation, it remains same. There is nothing changed. It is only the way of writing. How can you give that conclusion? If you see same computation we have done in data frame API, it has created three different stages. See, this one stage and two stage and two jobs. Here also, if you see two jobs, three stages. So this is how you can conclude saying that okay, there is way of writing is different, but logically, PySpark, data frame API, and Spark.sql both remain same, right? So this is one thing I wanted to show. I've not shown in multiple videos. Now I thought to give this because in one of the interview I've come across this thing saying that what is difference between this and this when it comes to computation point of view. Okay, so it is always very important to have that perspective also. So this is how we have to solve this particular problem. I hope I have given some extra knowledge in this particular thing video. I hope this was helpful for you. So now I want to hear from you also. How did you solve it? Drop your approach in the comment below and let's make it as a discussion. So if this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who is also learning PySpark. And if you want more challenges like this, subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more coming your way. So for YouTube link, you can go to this particular link. And for even more practice, check out my check out my GitHub repository where I've shared tons of PySpark problem. And if you want to stay in loop with the latest update, tutorials, and tips regarding data engineering, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I will keep on posting some challenges on LinkedIn. So give it a thought on following me on LinkedIn. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Until then, happy coding. Thank you.